So in this video I'll be showcasing the tech that is used in the any percent route for the control speedrun. Auto tech is what we know as of July 2020 basically. So if we find new ones, then this will probably be updated or something. But yeah, so first of all, the first tech that will be used is the prop clipping. There's a few methods to it as well, but the first one you use is for the Nomasi skip, which skips the Tomasi fight. So basically what you do with this method of prop clipping is that you place an object that you hold with launch between you and the roof. Then you jump into it like so, so the chassis is partially in it, and while you are inside it, you let go of the prop by pressing F or whatever your assigned button is, and then you just basically try to spam jump, and this is what should happen. You should be getting through the roof, like so. I'll do it a couple more times just to show it. But yeah, it's a fairly simple deck, but it can get take some time to get used to. But yeah, so basically, like, this is not what you do in every spot where you use this. You don't need the other piece in every other spot, but for the Nomasi clip out that I'm showcasing, you do need it. But yeah, jump into the object, let go of the object and spam jump basically. It can be sometimes finicky with this clip out to get on top of the box as well. And yeah, even I fail it sometimes, so don't get discouraged if you don't get it right away. There we go. I'll do it once more and then we'll move on to the next type of prop clipping. So once again, this angle is kind of bad, so I'll move it just a little bit to the left there. Hold with launch, jump inside it, let go and spam jump. There we go. Another method for prop clipping is the kind of riding the object type of prop clipping. It basically only works with objects like the fridge, so basically it needs to have two parts to the object. The other part of the object has collision while it's held by launch, and the other one does not. So the basic principle here for clipping is that you hold it with launch the entire time, but then you climb on top of it, and then it will start pushing you upwards, like so. Well, I actually got this first right now, I guess, but yeah, it's usually not that easy, but that's what happens. So basically, it just the object, the part that has collision, pushes you out of bounds. I'm gonna get the fridge again so I can showcase the other way as well. Like, you can have it both ways. The other way is a lot harder. So if you don't mind spending a short amount of time waiting for it to be oriented the correct way, then you want to have the open side like toward you while you do it. You can do it from the other side as well, like when the back's facing against you. It's still a little bit harder, but it's doable still. I might fail it because I haven't usually done it like that. But basically it's the same concept. You you climb on it. It's just harder to stay on it as well, I guess, and just overall harder to get out of bounds with it, but it's possible. As you can see, it's like very much more finicky. With this you can not really freely, but more or less freely get out of bounds. But when it's oriented like this, it's a lot harder. And sometimes you get the mantling animation as well, even into like other orientation, which is not what you want because it removes the launch, so the object doesn't go upwards anymore. But yeah, there I got it when it was the back facing against me. So it's the same principle for doing it. It's just a little bit more finicky and more difficult to get it that way. This is another method of prop clipping. It's similar to the drop method, but instead of dropping, you throw the object like at yourself or like at the wall that you're facing, kind of. This specific clip out is not used in the any percent, but it's like more or less the easiest one to showcase the deck with. There will be some videos later on going through the missions and the specific skips for the any percent, but I probably won't be doing the one clip out where this method is used because I'm not very good at it personally. But in any case, basically pick it up with launch, hold it with launch, go like near a wall, near a roof, whatever, and then have it either inside you or like kind of behind you, and then throw it at yourself, kind of. It's kind of finicky still, like even in this one, which is easier than the other one. But yeah, that's basically what should happen. It should push you through the wall or through the roof. It's not easy, but it does work. You can also use the drop method with those kind of objects as well, but it's usually much easier to just use the throwing method. But yeah, that's the throwing method for the prop clipping. So this is kind of another method for prop clipping. It's pretty much the same as the dropping the object method, but with levitate. So after you get levitate, these clip outs get way easier, because you don't have to really worry about spamming jump, for example, especially not in like lower rooms like this. So basically what you do is again grab the object with launch and then levitate up, and during the levitation just drop the object, and most of the time you should just get through easy like that. Sometimes it doesn't work as fast, but it shouldn't take too much trouble once you get used to it. Like here I didn't get it, but I think I just mistimed my inputs a bit. Also, this can be used, I think, in like a little bit higher rooms, like where you just reach the roof with your levitate at its peak, where you potentially, depending on the object as well, you can potentially like after you release the object, you can potentially with jumping repeatedly get through the roof like that, because you kind of jump off of the object with the collision, and because the object is partially through the roof already, it will push you through. But that's kind of a harder to get consistent case, that's probably with levitate. Another method of prop clipping with levitate is for the same method used with the fringe, but it's a lot simpler usually with levitate as well. Same principle, but you can go up with the object while levitating, more or less. So it's a much easier way to clip out, like so. Let me deal with these guys real quick. So yeah, it's the same principle as with the no levitate one, pretty much, but it's more or less easier because while you're levitating, you can also kind of jump off of the object to levitate again, and that'll make it easier. You can basically swamp jump while you're next to the roof to have a better chance of clipping out. It can still be finicky, but it's a lot more consistent than with the one without levitate. But even in this case, it's much more consistent to have it open side towards you, I would say, because it has more chance of like colliding with you, I guess. But yeah, even these, like, sometimes it just happens and sometimes it just refuses to happen for quite some time. Where did the fridge go? I guess it came out of bounds with me, I suppose. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, pretty much the same principle. Just because I get used to it, kind of. And it can be finicky a lot of times. But yeah. And yeah, sometimes the fridge just comes out of bounds with you for whatever reason. Not really any use for it, but still. But yeah, that's fridge clipping with levitate. Okay, so this is another piece of tech in the run. It's called Slidey McGunny, and you'll see why when it happens. There are different methods to doing it. One is with control points, but in the current any% route, we don't really use the control point method anymore since it's not needed. It was needed for the previous no must skip, but we found the prop clipping version for that, so now we're just doing it for directorial override. So basically what you want to do is you want to open the elevator menu, or control point menu for that matter, but right as it's about to reach the full circle, you want to open the loadout menu as well, like so. So when you get it right, timing can be finicky. My god, okay. I'm sorry, oh god. Okay, I'm sorry. You will get a double menu, more or less. Like so. So now you have both the loadout menu and the elevator travel menu open at the same time. So now navigate to collectibles, and either multimedia or hotline should work, but I'm just used to going to multimedia. Then go to objects of power, navigate to the second one, where you are going to travel, maintenance and access, maintenance sector access corridor, and then press either enter and G, but you have to be really fast with that, or G and enter. G for exiting the multimedia menu.
Like I said before, the janitor is a friendly face.
So when sliding mechanic works to set up, this is what happens. You're basically a gun sliding on the floor. And recently we actually discovered that the T-pose is just a T-posing with the gun on the floor like this. So it's actually interesting because like all this time it's just been the T-pose but without the player model active. But yeah, this doesn't happen every time, not at all. It's actually, I guess, more rare for slidey to appear than to not. What usually happens is that you just don't get this and you just have Jesse as normal. What can also happen is a black screen, which kind of basically means that you got the glitch but the elevator didn't open, so you just simply can't progress. You need to quit out and just move on basically. And this glitch saves so little time. It saves time, but it's so little that it's not worth trying over and over again. So like in runs, there is a backup for if you don't get slidey. You do different strats, which don't lose too much time, but still. In any case, what slidey allows us to do is clip the camera through walls. Now you might be wondering, what exactly would be the use for this? Well, in the case of doors like this, where it's not a clearance door on the other side, you can clip the camera to the other side of the wall and interact with the button and open the door. So basically, you need a trigger to activate stuff in the room there, but basically you just skipped a whole bunch of this mission because you opened the control room door right away. This is also possible with prop clipping, but yeah, this is the way to do it with slidey. And yeah, this is basically all slidey is used for. There are some other uses in the run as well, but nothing with too much time save, basically. But it's still really good for this skip. And the hitbox for Chessie is pretty much the same. I used to say and think that it is exactly the same, but after discovering that it's literally the T-pose without Chessie's player model, I started to wonder if it's actually the T-pose hitbox or something, or if it's still the regular hitbox. But regardless, this was slidey. So another piece of tech that is pretty much, it's used twice in the run, but to like a big extent it's only used once, which is going inside a wall before it's loaded and then riding it up while it's loading, pretty much. That sounds weird, but let me show it. So basically, the fire break door here, or wall, isn't loaded yet, so we can go inside it. And when it starts loading, it will push us upwards. You can spam jump to make it faster as well. So now we are on top of the fire break. This is used for team escape, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. But yeah, basically, if you get inside a floating wall before it loads, it can and will push you upwards. This is probably the easiest one to do it on. You can do it in the Astral Plane challenge for dash. It's kind of more finicky to do there, but it still works, and it's used for the Astral Plane skip, which will be discussed in another video at some point. But yeah, that's basically, what would we call this? riding a loading ball, I don't know. But yeah. Next up is a piece of tech that is currently only used in one place in the run. Mostly because it's very inconsistent in how it works. We call it neon. So basically, you, how to explain it, you get into kind of a more or less double climb animation, I guess. So, for example here, you do it like this. So, basically, after this edge here, and before this edge here, you press jump. It's kind of a finicky timing. And if you're wondering what exactly happens, if we look at the map while we are doing this, at the red cursor, which is our location. Hold up. It's kind of hard to do right now. Sorry. There we go. So you can see we go all the way to the other side of logistics. And we also use it here, but that's not important for the showcase of the glitch itself. So yeah, we still don't exactly know how it works, kind of, because it's more or less random where it brings you. Certain positions have certain waypoints where it brings you. It's something to do with the 0, 0, 0 coordinates, but also I guess not exactly, because in this same area there's two neons which bring you to two different locations. But yeah, so basically yeah, there's no other use for it in the run except for this part here, and the next part also has a similar thing, but like the positions aren't consistent. It's not easy to find these. This was basically a lucky draw for us to find a viable neon for the run. But yeah, that's neon. And it's not as finicky as I'm making it look. Usually I get it consistently on this spot. For some reason now it's... okay, there we go. So yeah, it's not too difficult, but also not extremely easy, I suppose.